battles is won and bottles is popping. I'm beyond Sanders on haters.
It's the NFL on EA Sports, and tonight's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the New York Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals, and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
With the Ohio River and the hills of Kentucky just to our right, we welcome you into Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the New York Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals. And hi again, everybody. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, when you and I were going through our final run-throughs at breakfast, we kept thinking tonight we're going to get to see a couple of very good passing offenses.
And we're talking about both sides having multiple receivers that could have an impact on this game. It's not just one guy that's going to make all the plays. If you take him away, maybe number 2, number 3, they make the big plays that impact who wins the game.
Kicker Graham Gano set to put his foot into this one. And we are underway from Cincinnati. Fielded just outside the goal line. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. Here are the Bengals on offense, and here is Joe Burrow ready to lead them at quarterback.
Hey, we all love a good story, and what we like even more, guys who can fight through adversity. Joe Burrow coming out of high school, goes to Ohio State, doesn't get a chance to start, transfers to LSU, not thought to be a top prospect, ends up the #1 pick in the draft, and justifies it. Tremendous play, excellent mobility, and leadership off the charts.
Here we go. Here's Burrow to throw right away. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. 23 yards, the final tally. And we see the emphasis early here. Get your star receiver involved, able to do it successfully.
Not a bad start to begin with, that's for sure. To me, this play says, our guy is better than your guy's. Because, you know, a player of his stature, he won't just be single covered all game long. It's going to involve multiple people. And right away, they told the other team, guess what? He's just better.
Now Burrow on first down. And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive, INT. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Meanwhile, Burrow's throw taken in here by Chase. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 38-yard line. 23 yards the pickup there. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
So the drive takes him into Giants territory now. 1st and 10 at the 38. And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive, INT. 2nd and 10 now. Burrow. It connects quickly to Jamar Chase. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 26. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. That early game script that they drew up is working pretty well here on this first drive. Already in field goal range, Charles knocking on the door of the red zone.
You know, Brandon, when we met with the coaching staff, they kind of predicted that they would come out firing like this. I think you and I were a little skeptical it would be this easy, but they certainly knew what they were doing in scouting, in preparation, and understanding what their team was capable of. To the air again, Burrow.
That's to Chase. He's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Jamar Chase from 19 yards away. And the Bengals will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Evan McPherson now for the PAT. And he's got it to make it 7-0 Bengals. So this drive spans 7 plays. And it was Jamar Chase who finished it off with a touchdown reception. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. First go on offense for the Giants under the guidance of Daniel Jones, the former Duke Blue Devil.
I still remember when he was drafted, there was a little bit of controversy about how high he was selected by the New York Giants, but his talents were revealed. He can make every throw in the book. Surprisingly good athlete. As long as he takes care of the football, doesn't turn it over, he can really make plays.
Jones and the Giants now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points. Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They forced incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
Now Jones. Got a man, that's Richie James. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 13 yards, good for a Giant 1st down.
I know at the end of games, coaches always tell us that no one play won or lost a game. But this seems pretty important early, doesn't it? Their ability to pick up that 1st down on 3rd down, I thought that was key.
Well, you're already in the hole after the touchdown on the other side. How will you respond? We talk about that a lot, and they responded pretty well there. You go 3 and out, I think you give up a lot of momentum. You get down 2 scores, could be an entirely different game.
So they've got a nice drive going now. They're in good shape. What's interesting to me is they're also in that spot of the field where you would take a shot. Do you change that up just because you're down a touchdown?
The tackle there by Jermaine Pratt. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Throwing, Jones. Finding Sterling Shepard for his 1st catch. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Giant football, and we're ready to begin the 2nd quarter as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jones. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Nice progress down the field, was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some set yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Jones hit and the ball's out, and the Bengals grab it. Look at the big man rumble. And this is taken into the end zone. A fumble recovery and a Cincinnati touchdown. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week, he's smiling. And McPherson on for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped it to 14. So the Giants getting the football back here for their second drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They'll run it again with Barkley. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving.
Jones in trouble here, and down he goes. Trey Hendrickson. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. But just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously. Led to a very quick sack.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
As we check the next-gen stats, you'll see he had precious little time to do anything with the football there. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But it's the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Burrow. And he'll go right back to Chase. That's caught again. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Touchdown! Jamar Chase on the touchdown throw from Joe Burrow. And the Bengals take a 3-touchdown lead. Well, I don't think that we're ready yet to say the route is on, but they have certainly looked near flawless here in this first half, and now an extra point away from making it 21-0.
Yeah, and your experience led you to say that because we have both seen those 21-0 leads come and go in this league, but this one feels pretty darn secure. And here's the other part. Even when people chip away at it, it forces you into being almost perfect on the other side, doesn't it, in order to try and mount a comeback.
McPherson now for the extra point. And it is now 21-0. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it was Jamar Chase who finished it off with a touchdown reception. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. And now out come the Giants. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Jones fakes the give to Barkley. A throw for Galladay is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. He had his eyes on the end zone. He got close. At least he set the offense up nicely, but he's probably mad he didn't take that one to pay dirt.
I agree with you, and you know he's going to get teased because he didn't get it all the way into the end zone. But if they don't score now, if they don't get a touchdown, he won't just get teased. They'll be glaring at him. How'd you not score?
There's a look at receiver Jamar Chase as the Bengals get set to go on offense. Making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defenses, getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Bengals are able to add on to their first half lead. It's not too often that you say, hey, this one's going to be over by halftime. And, CD, I know our bosses probably don't want us to say that because they don't want people clicking away, but this one might be over by halftime.
And since you already put your job on the line by actually saying it, I will co-sign and go with you because you're my partner. We don't mean to do it, but this game has been exactly as you've described. I see no hope for them going forward.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And a rout is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And he will score. Touchdown, Cincinnati. So they get the one-score kickoff, get a fumble, take it right back to the house. 2 quick touchdowns within a matter of about 10 seconds on the game clock.
It's like a big 1-2 punch that may lead to a knockout.
McPherson on for the point after. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And in a spot like this, still more than a minute, I think if you put something on the board before halftime, that would go a long way towards helping them get back into the game.
There actually is something to the psychology of the game at times, isn't there? How much better would they feel running into the locker room, as you noted, with something on the board in a positive fashion? You're exactly right. It's a great opportunity to get that done.
Out to the right here to Shepard. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Jones now on first down. They'll get this out to Barkley, complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one. Throwing on first down, Jones. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield in man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
Jones throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first-half scores just like this one.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third. On fourth down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And here's Taylor on the return. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. It'll be a 41-yard punt, give them 5 on the return. And the Bengals take over first and 10. Here we go. Burrow looking to pass. He will find his man Chase, complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
So we've reached halftime here in the Queen City, and it's the Bengals leading this one. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, BG, thanks very much, and welcome one and all to our beautiful new downtown Orlando studios for this EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, time for a check of the next-gen stats from that first half for the Giants, and they will need to get this passing game in gear, because they did not do much of anything in that first half. And it's why the scoreline is what it is. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in the second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Giants about set to go to begin this third quarter. We'll see, Charles, if they had a chance to hit the reset button at halftime. They have not scored. They're facing this big deficit. And if they're going to come back, it's going to have to start right now.
Yeah, and for them, it's not dwelling in the negative because, yes, they were totally ineffective in the first half. But we've seen many games that have flipped around in the second half. It all starts with this drive right here. They get something good going, put some points on the board, they begin to have hope.
Trey Hendrickson, the one who gets him on the ground. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Looking to throw. Jones. Trying to, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Sam Hubbard making his presence felt in the backfield.
So we'll recount real quick. He had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's had himself a game.
After that sack, 3rd and long, tough spot for Jones and the Giants. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. Here's Jamie Gillen now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 48. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
I'm one, right?
They go play action with Burrow. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And they'll be stopped at the 28 on a play that started at the 14. They pick up 14.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Here we go.
First down, here's Burrow. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
Been his main guy all day. Chase has another one. Touchdown, Bengals. Jamar Chase, 28 yards. And the Bengals have taken a 6-touchdown lead. But partner, he has carried them in this ball game throwing the football. All 4 touchdowns through the air, and that's really helped them get this nice lead.
And I know it's a team game, but right now, he is truly the focal point. Every touchdown his team has so far has been the result of his arm. How about him throwing it downfield, creating big plays? I don't know how you slow him down unless you can make him uncomfortable in the pocket.
And McPherson on for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it was Jamar Chase who finished it off with a touchdown reception. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. And the Giants ready to come out now. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Jones throw pulled in by Robinson here. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like right at the 40. Jones on 1st and 10. And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense a credit, the coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Really good coverage all over the field. It took away his intended read and almost dared him to try for his guy out of the backfield. No surprise on that one. It doesn't connect.
And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this 3rd quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick 6 is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here, and that one, it backfired in a big way.
McPherson now for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. And they won't be able to run another play. Time has expired on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati, where the 4th quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the 3rd quarter. Here's McPherson now to send it away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. And New York set to take the field. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage, because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result. Let's go ahead and put check marks by it all, partner. No points, down by 4 touchdowns, haven't had anything going today on offense. Why not add a late sack to the mix? Obviously a day to forget for all involved. Let's give plenty of credit to this defensive effort. They've been excellent from start to finish.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And he's going to take this up past the 10 to about the 11. He was able to pick up 6 yards there, so that leaves him with a 3rd and 13. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Now Jones. And that is incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Here's Jamie Gillen now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. To return is Taylor. A good work bringing that one back as he picks up about 16 on the return. And the Bengals will take over in terrific field position. Jamar Chase hoping to be at center stage yet again as the offense returns to the field. This defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him? Bring him over to our...
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They'd done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
McPherson on for the point after. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Back on offense, New York gets set to take over. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the fourth quarter, facing the big deficit. Just what silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like one possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run to have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score. After that sack, 3rd and long, tough spot for Jones and the Giants. Here's Jones throwing on 3rd and long. And that will be incomplete.
So it looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
Taylor now returning it. It'll be a 39-yard punt, give him a good 10 yards on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. There's a look at receiver Jamar Chase as the Bengals get set to go on offense. And I think we both agreed he could have a really good game with this matchup, but over 200 yards now.
I don't think we saw it as that good. And I think what really makes it special is when games like this are occurring, it's not just getting locked in and in the zone and on a roll. It's continuing to adjust throughout the game because, you know, the defense is kicking coverages towards him, trying their best to slow him down, and he keeps getting the better of them.
Yeah, whatever they've done, it hasn't worked. Back to Mixon on 2nd down. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line. 58 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the 2nd level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the 2nd level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Again, it's Mixon. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Five in the secondary now for the Giants here on 3rd. Inside handoff to Mixon. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. This from 54 yards away. And this one is right down Broadway. And that will extend their lead even further. So they hadn't called on him at all until this point, but he comes through here and buries one from long range.
Yeah, that's awfully impressive because usually kickers like to get that first one out of their system in the first quarter, sort of get them into the flow of the game, but to come in this late and knock it down from long distance, give him a lot of credit.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble. We'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious.
He's got a man, complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense is they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory.